On another exciting episode of the Animation Deliberation podcast, we continue fanning over Toji as we talk about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 16, Thunderclap. Right after these ads we have no control over. Sing along if you know the words. It's animation, deliberation, a conversation and a celebration of our favorite action animated series, yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Animation Deliberation, the podcast where we take action animation and cartoons seriously, but not too seriously. I am your host, Suhaira Lee, who apparently forgot to count at the beginning of this and is just completely unhinged because I'm by myself. We know how those go. It is very rambly, it is very all over the place, but thankfully there's not too much to talk about this episode because it was very action heavy, so there isn't too much story development that we really need to talk about. I'm just going to get right into reading off the synopsis and just kind of sharing some quick thoughts. Next couple of weeks, Andrew will be on vacation, so you might get Unhinged Zoo every week. We might have a guest slip in here and there, but for now, we're settling with this. So, episode 16, Thunderclap. Megumi fights Toji, but continues to be overwhelmed by his speed and power. The two eventually corner each other and nearly get a deadly hit in, forcing them to back off. Toji recalls back to when he sold Megumi to the Zenins and asks Megumi for his name, which he responds Fushiguro. Toji kills himself by stabbing his own head, satisfied with how he turned out. Megumi is about to head to Shoko to get healed, but is surprise attacked by Haruta. Meanwhile, Kusakabe has been stalling with Panda, patrolling around Shibuya so as to not get into any fights. When they encounter some of Geto's old followers, their fight is then interrupted by Sukana and Jogo's battle. Two very confusing names. Jogo unleashes his tremendous firepower, absolutely decimating Shibuya, but Sukana is able to evade and counteract with an incredible intensity, even sparing some time around to toy around with the sorcerers caught in the middle trying to escape. Sukana eventually uses his open technique, revealing his capability to use fire to fight Jogo head-on. Jogo is promptly burned to death, where he reunites with Hanami and Dagon in a white void as they express their desire to see each other again. And Sukuna compliments Jogo on his strength. Sukuna then reunites with the curse user from his past, Uraume? Uraume. I'm gonna go with that. While elsewhere, a creature starts to attack Haruta and an unconscious Megumi. So, as someone who doesn't read the manga, made that very clear. I like the reactions that I can give to you guys when I watch an anime for the first time. What was the purpose of Toji? Is there more stuff coming up with him? Because the first time I asked this is when we had our recap thing. I was like, man, love this character. He's got to pop up for some reason. There's no reason that they would just like tease us with such an awesome action character and then not fulfill anything with it. So we were excited when he got resurrected through the medium the way that he did through the seance, and all of his action sequences have been incredible to watch. Like, that alone is enough of a reason to have him back. But in regards to pushing the story forward, like, what did we really get out of his return? Like, they could have had a fight with this grandma and dude on a rooftop, and the same dude gotten beat up the way that he did, and Megumi still helping out with the heroes, just being able to take out that villain and then coming out. Like, I don't see what Toji's presence did for pushing the story. Like, he didn't even get to have a heart-to-heart conversation with him. There wasn't any interaction, and now he's like bleeding out on the side of a building. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I'd love to hear from you guys from this. So animation deliberation podcast at gmail.com. DM us on any of the social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook. But I don't get it. And I was kind of let down by that because I was hoping for something more fulfilling in a relationship aspect between him and his son. He interacted with the Zenin clan head. He interacted with Maki, and I like the comment of Megumi saying like, "Oh, he's like a perfected version of her." Like that's a cool hint of like what Maki could become. And I talk about how with the ranks that they have for the sorcerers, it's cool that they've been consistent with what they're capable of doing. So I like that Toji is kind of the ceiling for what Maki can be. Which God, I would love to see that. But again, I as much as I love Toji, as much as his appearance has been awesome from an action animation standpoint, I don't see why he needed to be in this at all, aside from because we can. In terms of Megumi, he really does seem like the ultimate support character because I feel like when he's not working with other people, he's typically fighting for a little bit and then running away. There was definitely a lot of running away. And I wonder if these hairs are like resurrectable. Like, did they go back to the little Shadow Realm thing or did they actually die? Because they got messed up. So, and there's nothing wrong with being an ultimate support character. I think if I was in an anime, that's definitely what I would be as well. So it's cool to see how capable he is, how smart he is, what he's able to do with the creatures he has at his disposal. He's very aware of situations, so it's like, let me just take a couple of these hits because I know what can get healed, what cannot get healed. The dude that slashed him, I thought that Nanami messed him up, so I was surprised to see him pop back up the way that he did, but it seems like some other creature's about to mess him up. So, yeah, that guy's quite the nuisance. I can't wait till he gets messed up even more. You can tell I'm really trying to watch my language here. Oh, on Hinzu. So I don't think I have too much more to say like on the Fushiguro Zenin fight. Thought it was really interesting that he stabbed himself in the head. It's just like, nah, bro, I'm good with this. Like, because he was so mission focused, like he didn't even have like any of his wit. Like he wasn't talking through any of these fights. It was just so mission focused. So I don't know. Maybe the manga readers are listening to me like, oh, just wait, buddy, just wait. So I hope that's the case, but it's just kind of a waste of a character if not. Animation. Deliberation. So the animation for this, I know I've had my opinion on all season, and this is another one where it's like, why can't you guys just make up your mind? I love the no shading look when it comes to the action part of these things because it's fast, it's dynamic, you get fluid motions out of it. There's nothing really in the way from like stopping from seeing what's going on. But we've been having these talks about the state of the animators and how overworked they are and they haven't had the time to work on things and these things are crammed and yada yada. And I get the no shading look for the action sequence, but everything about this episode just looked so lazy. Like, what was wrong with Panda? He looked like he was just glitching the whole time. Any interaction with them, any moving around, nothing seemed fluid, nothing lined up. Like, I'm watching this in Japanese, but for some reason, like, the mouth movements, like, it's not even like precise. I'm not even being too picky about like lip movement or whatnot, but it just did not connect. It did not connect. And mm, I really wish that Mappa would just slow down and get its stuff together. Like, Attack on Titan's done now. We will have an episode on that, by the way. Just there was a lot to process there. Attack on Titan is done. Chainsaw Man's season 1 is done. I get they're working on One Punch Man. They got all the mans. But I if you're gonna make us wait this long for a season anyways, like there's no excuse to not put the proper time and resources into keeping a consistent product, and they have not been doing that, especially if you're going to deliver something as incredible as the Itadori and Chojo fight. Like, why is this what you were able to give us? So whatever's going on that front, like, fix it, please, because I hate having to have this conversation. For me, it's you got to do a pretty bad job for me to need to address it at all, if not like this frequently, because I like to fill the seams with my imagination or whatnot. So for it to just get this far is just what's going on, guys. Get it together. It's not that hard to have a consistent identity for an animation style, is it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like every anime I've seen is just pretty unique with what they want to do, and this one's just like, spinning the wheel or pulling a style out of a hat. Like, this episode's gonna look like this. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. It's not pretty. Sukana is off the chains. I love his smack talking. It's terrifying and interesting, like how he just plays around with another special grade. But also, I feel like Jogo was just written to get beat up by the most badass characters in the series. Just between like how Gojo tossed him around and now this, it's pretty entertaining. I question the longevity of this show because all these big threats are getting knocked out within season 2. So I don't know if it's going to be something like Demon Slayer where it actually has an intention of being a short series, but I guess we'll see. Again, like his movements and stuff were cool. The action was fun. I like that he actually said, like, I'm not going to explain my powers just because we're at the end of this. So, like, that brought up some curiosity of, like, all right, tickle me intrigued. Like, I want to see more. R.I.P. Jogo, I guess. Not even too many questions to ask from this. The guy who was procrastinating, what was his name again? The one that was with Panda. Kusakabe. I love how he just doesn't want to get into fights, but then it's like when he does, like his technique actually looks really cool. So it's like, all right, you got something to show here. Like, figure it out. There's people to fight. I want to see it. Let's get this going. Definitely want to see Panda in action, especially with what they did with him in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Like, his action sequences are just phenomenal, and they definitely need to get that going. So, I'm not sure if I have too much more to add here that's not redundant. I hope you guys like these quick episodes. I'm really curious what you all think of the show. I know there's some people who just kind of wait for the season to end up or wait for it to come in English. I can't wait for it to be in English. I feel like I'm going to appreciate it a lot more just because I'm so used to those characters, and with how much explanation stuff goes on, I just feel like it's going to flow better when I don't have to read and process and track all at the same time. So that's it for me today. Again, be sure to check us out on all our social medias. Be sure to subscribe on wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a review because it really does help us out a lot. And then, of course, use our codes Stay Whelmed for Liquid IV and Stay Whelmed 12 for Blend Jets. Yes, we still have that. Yes, we're still using them. Use mine every day. It is such a lifesaver and just a super convenient product. Please keep your vitamin C intake up. That's just a PSA. That's just because I care about you guys. A lot of people getting sick. It's that time of the year. A lot of people contagious. Be careful. Big shout out to the friends of the show, 323 with Reed Murphy, Commute the Podcast, and Peeves Gabfest. Be sure to give them a listen. And then, of course, always check out everything on strandedpanda.com. There's a lot of stuff. Loki hit its final season, and The Marvels, which, oh my god, please go watch that. The Marvels was so good. That I'll be talking about on 323, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast will be covering that as well. So check them out. Looking forward to chat with you guys again soon, and tune in next time. That's TOONIN, and as always, stay whelmed. Thank you for listening to the Animation Deliberation Podcast, a proud member of the Stranded Panda Network. If you would like to contact us, you can email animationdeliberationpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter @animationdelib1. For this and other great shows, you can visit strandedpanda.com or join the great community that is the Stranded Panda Chat Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/svchat. Tune in next time, and remember, stay whelmed.